Regular guy with a cool job that God loves for some reason. Welcome to the Steve Marston Show, a daily journey in learning how to live more like Jesus, conversations with those that God is working through, and dad jokes. It's the most unique show you'll hear today. Now, here's Steve.
Lonnie, thank you so much. Welcome in. It is a fun Friday here on the Steve Marston Show. Yes, we are all about having fun Monday through Thursday, but we kind of amp it up on Friday, and we're going to be hearing from you. We would like to send us an email about anything, and I mean anything. Steve@salemmedia.com is the email address. We are streaming live on Facebook, on YouTube, and X, so we would love for you to join us by watching the program. And I wanted to start today with something that happened a couple of weeks ago when me and my two boys took our annual boys trip. Every year, I take my two sons. They're 13 years apart. One is already has his own life in Missouri right now, and the youngest one is in the 6th grade. And the three of us take an annual trip to go watch a football game. And we spend Friday night together, go to the game on Saturday, spend Saturday night, and come home on Sunday. And one of the things we've always done as we travel is to listen to an audiobook. We've just become big fans of that. And I happen to have a credit through the little Audible account that I have. And I said, okay, bud, tell me what you want to listen to. And he was scrolling through there, and I guess this is a new book. I'm not exactly sure. But Mark Chernow, who is an amazing writer, he does a lot of biographies. People like President George Washington and Ulysses S. Grant, massive biographies. Well, there was one he has written, I guess recently, about Mark Twain. And I've always been fascinated by Mark Twain. And we threw it in, started listening to it. And it was interesting, the spiritual aspect of Mark Twain. I don't want to, give away any secrets if you're going to try to read the book, but Mark Twain never really was a believer. He never bought into the whole God business, never was convinced that there was anything beyond what we can see and taste and touch and feel. He was a skeptic by every account. And he looked kind of with a side eye at religion because he always thought it was something that was manipulative and something that people were suckered into and taken advantage of. And so he never bought into it. And if you read his works, it's kind of the way it's characterized in things like, Adventures of Tom Sawyer and the Huck Finn book as well. Anyway, as we're reading along about it, listening along, I guess, with the audiobook, they're going over Mark Twain's and his family's kind of quasi-religion and battles and to try to find something stability-wise and real more than this life. And one of his daughters was talking about prayer when she was little, and she brought up the fact that, well, God knows what I want, so I don't necessarily have to ask him anymore. And Mark Twain just thought that was an amazing epiphany for such a young girl at the time. I think she was like 10 or 12. But as I was listening, I'm thinking to myself, no, that's not right at all. Because, see, I think we get that so messed up where we look at prayer as something, first and foremost, as a last resort. We see it as, okay, I've tried everything else. I've exhausted every other avenue. It's totally and completely out of my control. So now I'm going to ask God to intervene. And we want our wants. That's what we're asking for. It's a laundry list. God, here's what I need right now. This is what I want you to do. So let's get to it. Now, if you've been around this show or any of the other shows that are airing on this radio station for a long time, you know that's not how it works. And the reason it's not how it works is because in that scenario where we're saying, here's what I want, so God, I'm asking you to deliver. Who's in the captain's chair in that scenario? It's certainly not God. And we kind of hear those little scriptures taken out of context. Well, if you just ask God for whatever, he's going to give it to you. It says, delight yourself in the Lord and he'll give you the desires of your heart. And all of those scriptures we like to pull out to say, well, why doesn't God answer? Why doesn't he snap to it? Because doesn't he see what's going on? Doesn't he know that I need this right now? It's really so funny. We tend to take the God of the universe, the one who created air and dirt and holds everything in the palm of his hand, and we make him an errand boy. We say, well, if you don't answer this, then you must not love me, or you must not care about whatever situation's going on. Don't you see the suffering? Well, I don't know that God answers any of those prayers. God is not in the business of answering to us. Now, as his children, when we come to him and we make a request, that's different. Now, does it mean he's always going to answer it in the affirmative? Well, we've all lived long enough to know that that's not correct. However, he does want us to come to him. I mean, just think about it with your own children. Don't you want your children to come and ask you for help when they need it? Whether it's something as innocent as learning to tie their shoe, or maybe some financial difficulties as an adult, wouldn't you like them to come to you and say, hey, Dad, Mom, listen, I'm going through some stuff here. What can we do? Of course you would. But yet, that's not the way we treat our God. And because there aren't, snap judgments where someone, is automatically just zapped when they offer up a silly prayer like that, then we all think, well, never mind. It's God's fine with it. We'll just go on with business as usual. But God wants so much more from us. He wants our hearts, and he wants us to come to him knowing that we're in second place. See, until we understand that, we're never going to have our prayers answered. We're never going to have them go higher than the ceiling. If our sole purpose of praying is for God to act and to do something that I need him to do, I think you're going to be sorely disappointed. And then that disappointment could mean, well, God must not be there. But no, actually it means until you get who's in control in this relationship correct, I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to act. It's definitely something that we've got to keep in mind. Mark Twain had it wrong. He was leading his daughter, whether he knew it or not, astray. No. We've got to come to God knowing that he is God and that he is in control, and we ask him according to his will and what he wants. There you go. That's the opening statement for this fun Friday. We've got tons to do. A review of the Babylon Bee is coming up. We'll be talking with Paul Acey from Focus on the Families Plugged In, and so much more. It's the Steve Marston Show. Don't go anywhere.
You can watch the show live on the Steve Marston Show Facebook page. Once again, here's Steve.
It's great to be with you. Welcome, man. It is the Steve Marston Show. So thankful that you are making us a part of your day. And I know we're new in San Antonio, and I'm so thankful for that. That is a wonderful new market to be in, and it's a dream come true. So I'm thankful for you listening. And as you do, and you're kind of liking what we're doing, be sure and tell a friend. That'll really help us. We've got TSO coming up. They are on tour with their Ghosts of Christmas Eve amazing show. I don't know if you've seen that yet or not, but it is something else to behold. And they're going to be in Little Rock on December 4th and then in San Antonio on December 21st for two big shows. And we're celebrating by giving you this grand prize. Listen to this. This all comes together as one grand prize. It's not like, oh, here's an individual prize you can win. No. This is all bundled together. A 75-inch smart TV, a surround sound home theater system, premium TSO concert library, a $1,000 holiday gift card. Tell me that doesn't come in handy. An exclusive virtual meet and greet with one of the band members, and a personalized TSO Christmas video message, all bundled together and given to you. All you have to do is go to one of the radio station's websites. If you're in Little Rock, faithtalk995.com, or in San Antonio, am630theword.com. Fill out the registration form, and you could win. And listen, if you haven't seen TSO, you owe it to yourself. And those of you that have, take some friends that haven't. It is a sight and sound overload. It really is. It's a wonderful production. It's Christmas music played on orchestra instruments that are electrified. And then you throw in this killer light show. Man, it is a wonderful, wonderful experience. So check it out when it comes up, either on the 21st with two shows in San Antonio or December 4th here in Little Rock. All right. Every week, we like to review and comment upon some things that are making headlines. And most radio talk shows will go to the New York Times or maybe to the Washington Post. Some would go to the USA Today. Is that still a thing? Is USA Today still a paper? I don't know. We can't get a consensus on it. But all of these papers are what everyone else uses, but not here at the Steve Marston Show. This is another way that we're different, another way that we bring you things that you're just not going to hear anywhere else. We go to the Babylon Bee. Now, if you're not familiar with the Babylon Bee, it is a satirical website, and it is based primarily on the church bubble people, which I'm a big part of, always have been. And it's written with a biting commentary, and you might even call it smart aleck from time to time. That, too, is myself. So since I didn't create the Babylon Bee, which I kicked myself for not thinking of it first, since I didn't create it, I figured the best thing we could do is to share it. So I came across this in the Bee this week, 10 proofs that Jesus was an American. Now, you may have heard by reading your Bible that Jesus was not from the United States of America, but the Babylon Bee would like to disagree. So here are the 10 proofs. It says, lots of people try to remake Jesus in their own image by viewing his life through the lens of their culture. But this is remarkably offensive to the view of the King of Kings. Unless you're an American, we spoke to actual theologians to discuss the validity of Jesus being an American, and you won't believe what we learned. Here we go. 10 proofs from the Babylon Bee that our Savior, Lord, and Master, Jesus Christ, was indeed an American. Here we go. Convincing proof number 1. Founded the most popular religion in America. There's no way that can be a coincidence, right? Number 2. He didn't rely on the government to solve problems. It says, what bureaucrat can walk on water or heal blindness? I mean, really, come on. Number 3, he was played by Jim Caviezel in a movie. And who's more American than Jim Caviezel? Am I right? Passion of the Christ, great film. Great film. And number 4, Jesus never watched a soccer game. Of course he did, the Bee says, because he wasn't a stinking communist. Number 5 in the list of 10 convincing proofs in the Babylon Bee that Jesus was an American. He would have probably liked baseball if it had been around at the time. You could just tell, you know. I would agree with that. I think Jesus would have liked baseball. You could see him and the apostles playing, can't you? I could. You know, around the Sea of Galilee? Sure. It's a pastime, right? You know, it could be the great American pastime, and Jesus would have loved it. Let's see, where do we leave off? Number 6. Jesus did not use the metric system. Well, there you go. That proves he was an American for sure. Number 7. You can't spell Jesus without spelling USA if you rearrange it and, you know, add a letter. That was a stretch. That was a stretch. Number 8 in the list of 10 things that are absolute proofs that Jesus was an American according to the Babylon Bee. He always gets dragged into Middle Eastern politics. Well, mission accomplished there. Number 9, Jesus did not have a voter ID. I mean, come on, what is that, really? Number 10, he provided aid to people in Israel, not unlike the United States. So there you go. That's the Babylon Bee. They say, this seems pretty definitive to us. This is why America is the most sacred and patriotic nation on earth. The 10 ways that are absolute proof that Jesus was an American according to the Babylon Bee. Can't get better than that, right? Thanks for joining us today here on the Steve Marston Show. We have got a lot coming up for you. You can check in with us by sending us an email, steve@salemmedia.com, steve@salemmedia.com, about anything on your mind today. We'd love to entertain it for you. We've also got a special guest coming up. This is going to be fun. Paul Acey from Focus on the Family's PluggedIn.com is going to join us next. We're going to be talking about all the new movies and streaming series and music and everything else that's coming out here in the next few weeks, and get your view. Welcome back. Steve Marston Show continuing here. Thank you for letting us be a part of your day as we get ready for the weekend. What we like to do on Fridays is bring in Paul Lacey from Focus on the Family and PluggedIn.com. Actually, I kind of tell a lie there because usually we have our buddy Adam Holtz, who is normally in the spot, but Paul is pinch hitting today, and we want to welcome him for the first time to the Steve Marston Show. How you doing, Paul?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah, not sure what's going on with the audio here. Let's see. Well, Paul, can you tell you what? I'm going to send you the call-in number here, and I want you to just call CJ in the studio. We'll do this over the phone the old-fashioned way here. So, anyway, we're having a little technical difficulties, but we're going to get this ironed out here and get him on because there's a lot to talk about this week with especially Wicked 2 coming out. That's a big thing. A lot of people are paying attention to it. In fact, my daughter, who is 20 years old, loves Wicked. She was a big fan of the first movie and is looking forward to the second movie coming out. Okay, Paul, I just sent you the call-in number, so if you wouldn't mind calling in, we'll do this over the phone here. So, Focus on the Family's Plugged In is amazing. It's a great website that allows you to kind of be the judge of everything. What they do is they give you information like crazy on all kinds of topics and things that might be concerning to you and your family, and then let you make the decision. So it really is pretty neat to be able to see how that really works. And let's see here. Okay, Paul's having a little trouble. Let's get. So anyway, as we're trying to get this squared away, Paul is going to. We'll talk about Wicked 2, and like I say, Focus on the Family's PluggedIn.com is a website that you ought to just bookmark and make sure that you check it out from time to time because there is, like I say, just tons of information. It's all about all the new movies that are out, streaming stuff, and on DVD. They have a little thing about tutorials for each of the different streaming platforms because they're all a little different as far as what's there and what's available. And like I say, the best part about it is they don't tell you what to think about or whether you should go see this or not. What they do is they just give you all the information. And now we've got Paul Lacey on the phone now. Hey, brother, how are you doing?
I am doing good. Sorry about the problems there. I'm not exactly sure what was going on, but I'm ready to talk.
I'm not sure what was going on either, but that's okay. We got you on the line, and that's the main thing here. You know, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, right? So we're ready for a big weekend at the box office. This was movie Wicked 2 coming out has been anticipated by especially my daughter, the 20-year-old in the house. She has wanted this movie to come out since the first one, and she is excited. She and my wife have already made plans. They're going to see this on Saturday. So tell us, how good is it? It's a PG-13 rated movie, right?
It is actually PG, but it should be rated PG-13. This is a little bit darker than what you'll remember from the original Wicked that came out last year. So Wicked for good. It definitely, your daughter, your wife, they're not the only ones who are going to be seeing this thing. This is going to do $3 bazillion at the box
yes,
office,
it
I'm
is.
pretty sure.
Yes, it is.
It's going to be huge. But I do think that for some families, there are some cautionary things that we should probably talk a little bit about. For those who don't know, this is really a takeoff on the Wizard of Oz that all of us remember watching on reruns on TV. This is sort of taking things from Elphaba's point of view, which is the Green Witch, the Wicked Witch of the West. and it gives a little bit more of a positive spin on her character and shows how she got to be how she got to be. So you're already dealing with a little bit of darkness there. There's a lot of magic that you're going to have to wade through here, and I know that some Christian families, they're going to have trouble with that. And as I said, this second movie is a little bit darker than we were accustomed to with the first movie. So that's also something to be aware of. There's even some sensuality that might be a little bit problematic to navigate as well. But the music is still fantastic. They've added some new songs to this. It sticks pretty true to the original Broadway play. I think that for fans of the musical, for people who have been really looking forward to this, I think that there's plenty to like. But for folks who weren't really on board with the first one, they definitely shouldn't be on board for the second.
I can understand that. And that's right. Look, that's one of those things. It's our Christian liberty kind of thing where, look, some people are going to enjoy it, and that's okay. And some people are going to be convicted about not seeing it, and that's okay too. You know, it's one of those things we have to not take it as something that will split or divide us as brothers and sisters in Christ, for sure. So let's talk about Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, I think is how you say her last name.
Erivo, I believe. Yes,
Erivo, yeah. So those two in the first movie, they like sung the parts like on set. Isn't that right? Are they doing that again this time?
They are doing that this time. They are really incredible singers. They have the pipes to be able to pull this off. And you know, I think that when you look at their characters, they really feel like they were made for who they play. They just do it so well. I really do appreciate kind of the characters that we have. And quite honestly, you know, it's unusual to find people who can both act and sing so well today. Back in the old days when musicals were just a dime a dozen, you might have had more people who could do that. These two characters, these two actors really bring it. And I think that that's one of the things that fans really enjoy about the Wicked movies.
Well, I just want it noted for the record that I called this a long time ago, back when Ariana Grande was on the Victoria show on the Nickelodeon network. I said they cast the wrong person as the lead. The redheaded girl, she's got the talent. I'm on record for saying that. So I just want that out there publicly again, just to make sure. No, Paul AC is our guest here. He is from PluggedIn.com, a ministry of Focus on the Family. And again, if you don't have it bookmarked, you need to, because it is a fantastic wealth of information about everything entertainment that's going to be stealing glances from your family, and whether they should be watching it or not, well, that's going to be up to you. And they'll give you all the information about it through these different wonderful reviews that they do here. So that's obviously going to make a gazillion dollars, and it's going to be the most talked about thing this weekend. But what else is on the horizon as far as entertainment goes this week?
So, you know, another quieter movie that families might want to look out for is a movie called Rental Family. This stars Brendan Fraser, and it's really about this big American guy who's tried to make a living in Japan for the last several years. He's an actor. He used to be really famous for being, you know, essentially Toothpaste Man in Japan. But the parts have sort of dried up, so to speak, and now he's looking for what he can do next. And he finds himself in this agency that essentially rents people for different situations. If you need a boss to upbraid you for some reason, if you need to have a substitute family member to come to a party, they're there. So you have these rental agencies that just rent people just so you can not be embarrassed. It really is. It really is. So you might not be embarrassed, but some of these people are renting these actors just to work through some issues. The real story gets going when he becomes this fake dad of this 9-year-old girl so that this girl can go to school. But their bond becomes much greater than sort of this actor and girl. All of a sudden it becomes a real father-daughter scenario that can be really, really touching and very, very uncomfortable to sort of navigate. It's a really sweet movie that may be up for some Oscars later on.
Wow.
So for those who are really looking for something that's sweet and also really good, that also has some problems, this might be a film to check out.
Well, look, I'm so happy for Brendan Fraser because he was in. Let's just be honest. He's been in a lot of bad movies. You know, he has. It seems like every time you turn around, he's in a movie, and you're thinking, really, this guy could do more than what he's doing in this. At least that's been my impression. And then it seems here the last, I don't know, couple of 3 movies that he's released, it's like, oh, hey, wait a minute, this is more along what he can do. So I'm really excited to see that because I do think he's a low key, really good actor. So I'm excited about that. So is there anything as far as streaming shows goes or music wise that we need to be paying attention to?
You know, there's always so much going on. I do think that those are probably the big ones if you're really wanting to watch a 1960s French-inspired movie. Nouvelle Vogue is streaming.
Uh-huh.
There's also a really sweet cartoon on Netflix called In Your Dreams. This really talks a little bit about walking through some dream sequences and that type of thing. But it has a kind of sweet message. It definitely has some issues that you'll need to walk through. But it is a very sweet animated film that you might want to check out the Plugged In review for if you're interested in that sort of fare for your family.
That's awesome. Paul Acey is our guest here on the Steve Marston Show. He is a contributor and a reviewer for PluggedIn.com. That's a ministry of focus on the family. And one of the things I wanted to bring up because it's National Adoption Month, and we've done a lot on that so far, and we'll continue as we move through the month to have guests on about it. But you guys have a brand new blog that's 8 dynamic movies featuring adoption. Let's kind of hit some of those because I don't think at the forefront of my thinking, I'm thinking, I'm not sure I can name any movies about adoption.
You know, it's amazing actually how many there are out there, you know, and that's an encouraging thing for us.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
You have these families, you know, when you have these families that maybe took a lot of painful situations, and you bring these kids into a much better situation. I think that's just a beautiful and wonderful thing. You know, my wife was adopted, my sister was adopted.
Oh wow!
So I have personal experience with this, and I know just how impactful adoption can be. And I'm so grateful that sometimes Hollywood takes a look and notices that as well. I'll just run down a few for you. Despicable Me is probably one of the most prominent ones.
Well, there you go. See, I didn't even think about that. But of course, that's a great adoption movie.
It is a great adoption movie. It takes this evildoer, this truly super villainous type of character. He adopts for one of his nefarious evil plans. He adopts these cute as a button little girls, and they change his life.
Yeah.
They have helped inspire so many other movies down the road as well. Lilo and Stitch is another one that I think can qualify as an adoption movie.
Well, you know, that I could see that. Yeah.
And one of the underrated gems, honestly, I don't know how many people have seen this, but back in 2007, Disney released a movie called Meet the Robinsons. It was one of their lowest grossing movies of all time.
I didn't know that.
It is a really great film, and it's filled with really sweet adoption messages as well. That is definitely something to be looking for.
Now, that shocks me because I didn't realize that statistic that you just threw out there, because I can remember, oh gosh, it's probably been 2 or 3 years ago now, but one of my kids actually had said, let's watch on a family movie night, Meet the Robinsons. And I was like, okay, what is it about? And I loved it. I thought it was a great movie. And and I'd kind of forgotten about it till you just mentioned it again. But I had no idea it was that poorly received back when it came out. But boy, it's a powerful story. It really is good.
Oh, yeah. It really is a strong movie, and it's also just so much fun. I just love the bowler cap that makes a big appearance there. So if you haven't seen Meet the Robinsons, You'll have to just watch it for the bowler cap.
Yeah,
you know?
it's low key great. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't believe more people don't know about it, but it is a really really sweet movie, and it will keep adults' attention as much as the kiddos' attention too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Another thing that I might want to mention is that
Sure.
a lot of superhero movies that we have, they have sort of this quasi-adoption message. You know, Spider-Man was raised by his aunt and uncle who taught him that with great power comes great responsibility. Superman crash landed in his guardian's, his parents' backyard.
That's
And
right.
they raised him to be a great superhero. The one that we put on the list was Shazam, which takes place in a foster home, essentially this group home. And it really has a very sweet message about the importance of these surrogate moms and dads that run group homes, that they give their kids under their care someone to look up to and someone who can care for them. And I love that message.
Yeah, it is so good. And I'm so glad you came up with that list. That's a great blog. And I'm telling you, I'll underline this again. If you don't go to pluggedin.com on the regular, you need to bookmark it, make it a source that you go to, because it has got a wealth of information. And I'm so thankful for the friendships of Paul and for Adam that join us here on the Steve Marston Show. Man, it is a pleasure to be able to talk with you. Thank you for bringing the knowledge today, man. I really do appreciate it.
Anytime, Steve. Thanks so much.
All right, that is Paul Acey again. Again, you can find out more about Plugged In just by going to their website, pluggedin.com, and it is really good stuff. Okay, coming up, we've got Football Friday picks. We've got the best video on the internet to get to, and so much more as we get ready to close this week out before Thanksgiving here on the Steve Marston Show. Don't go anywhere. Hey there, it's the Steve Marston Show. One of the cool things about working for this company is the way we give back. And we give back in a lot of different ways, but this one is probably the most fun because every Christmas time for the last 8 years, we have decided we're going to pay somebody's mortgage for all of the following year. Talk about a Christmas present and giving back and being the spirit of the season. This is it all wrapped into one beautiful package. So here's what we're doing. We're asking you to go to our website and fill out the form. That's it. That's all you've got to do. And then you will be registered to win this grand prize. Again, think about how much your mortgage is. Think about how much it would save you not to have to pay it for all of 2026. Well, that's what we're offering. Yeah, no strings attached. You can sign up multiple times too. All the details are at our website. All you have to do is go in Little Rock to faithtalk995.com, or in San Antonio, head to am630theword.com. Fill out the registration form, and somebody's going to win. I hope it's you. I really do. It's such a great gift and such an amazing way for us to provide and give back. And here's another thing. Make sure that maybe those that you know that are less fortunate, maybe having a little bit times of struggle, make sure they get entered. Okay? Yeah, it's a Christmas Mortgage Miracle Sweepstakes, and we will be giving that away within the next month or so. So can't wait for that. Okay. On Mondays, we start every week with a new Bible verse, what we call faith between your ears, because I am so convinced that walking this faith out, being a true follower of Christ, means we have to have the correct mindset. Sometimes we just have such a defeatist attitude, and it's not godly. It's not some kind of pious. It's just wrong, and it can lead us to, falling into pitfalls that are avoidable if we would just have the right outlook on things. Now, again, it's not going to make everything sunshine, roses, lollipops, and waterfalls. I'm not saying that. Life is still life, and life is still hard, and life is still unfair at times. But there are things I really believe that with the correct mindset we can overcome and be victorious of. If you've haven't heard of our Faith Between Your Ears, you can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Steve Marston Show. There I've got them listed that we've had over the last month or so. Hebrews 11:1, 2 Corinthians 5:17, 1 Corinthians 6:19 through 20, and Romans chapter 12, verse 2. Those have been previous weeks. You can go back in the archives and listen to what we had to say about that. That's available for you as well. And today we're finishing up with 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9, where it talks about how we are a royal priesthood, a chosen generation. We are called out into God's holy purpose for his praise because of what he's done, called us out of darkness into his amazing, marvelous light. So if you haven't already, I would encourage you while you have some time this weekend. I know it'll probably be busy, but write out that verse, 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9, and maybe write it multiple times or type it out multiple times. Set an alarm on your phone to help you remember to go try to memorize it. And I'm just telling you that if we would discipline ourselves, and I'm saying we because I'm meaning myself just as much as I am you, if we discipline ourselves, we'll do better to learn these verses and have the skills and the things we need to be overcomers, to be what Jesus has called us to be, which is those that have an abundant life. So get 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9 down in your memory banks. And when I come back from vacation, we'll have another verse for faith between your ears. Okay, on Fridays, we like to also make football picks. Now, we do this with my producer, CJ. She is your typical fan or I'm sorry, typical non-fan. She doesn't care one thing about sports, much less football, but yet I try to go head-to-head with her in picks. Now, she has led most of the year in picks, believe it or not, winning more of the games than I have. But now we are back at a flat-footed tie. It's basically 0-0. And CJ, we have a special game to pick this week because we might as well call this the Steve Marston Show Bowl. Do you know why? Because the University of Arkansas is traveling to play the University of Texas. Now, we're not on in the cities that the campuses are in, but we're in the next biggest cities. So Little Rock, San Antonio, they're going to be fired up for the game. All of the San Antonio people in the burnt orange, Cardinal red for those in Little Rock. So, who you got, CJ?
I'm going to go with Texas.
You're going to go with the Texas Longhorns. Okay.
I don't think Arkansas is very good this year.
Arkansas is not very good this year, and I'm going to have to agree with you. I'm going Texas Longhorns as well. So that's our college game. We've got one more game to pick, and that is in the pros. The NFL will kick off on Sunday, and one of the matchups that day is the New England Patriots taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Do you care who's at home and who's on the road?
I'm going to say I'm going to have to go for Patriots.
Going to go with the Patriots on the road. Okay. I'll to be different. We'll take the Bengals. It really is a kind of a toss-up game. I have no idea who's going to win that game. So, to review, we split on the NFL game, and we are both taking Texas for the game coming up on Saturday between the Razorbacks and Longhorns. Although, the Razorbacks, I think, before it's over with, are going to sneak up and beat somebody. I don't know that it'll be this week, but, I think they will. I think they'll beat somebody at some point. Okay, that's our Football Friday picks. We've got one more segment to come here on this Fun Friday, and we like to scour the internet to find the best video for you. We'll have that for you next. It's the Steve Marston Show on Friday. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back before you know it. Glad to have you here on a fun Friday. It's the Steve Marston Show. Welcome back. You know, Pastor Jack Hibbs and his ministry, Real Life Radio, are giving away a wonderful grand prize. This is so big. It's his new devotional called Watching Waiting. And he is going to give you an autographed copy of that, plus $250 on a gift card to the Real Life Radio Network store. And, oh, by the way, an iPad 11. Yeah. And it's all about his new devotional about the end times. It's 40 days called Watching Waiting. And we want you to take it home. So go sign up at either one of the radio station's websites. If you are in Arkansas, you can go to faithtalk995.com. Those of you in San Antonio, go to am630theword.com and sign up. This is a great grand prize. And in fact, just for signing up, we'll give you the first 3 days of Watching Waiting as a free digital download. So you just sign up with the registration form, click send, and then bingo, bango, zip, zam, zoom. As quick as you can snap your fingers, there will be the 3 days for you. So don't get left out on that. It's going to be a good prize. Okay, every day to close up the show, we like to leave you with a smile on your face. Just kind of a benediction, if you will. And we search high and low for the best video on the internet that we can find. And today comes from Derek Stroop. It's about people who press the button. Let's watch.
This is the only city I've ever been to in my life where I've never heard anybody say, calm down. No. You want to lose your mind? Give him some space. He's having a mental breakdown. Back up. It works out for me. It really does. I'm the type of person that if I'm at a crosswalk waiting to go to the other side, if you come up behind me and you press the button, it's hard for me not to turn around and ask you, do you not think I've already done that? Do you think I was standing here going, what if there was an easier way? I can't help but assume you think I'm that dumb. It's the same thing with the elevator people. They'll come up, the button is clearly lit up. They'll come up and press it again. How is that not supposed to offend me? You think I was standing here in front of the doors going, come on, level 5, get hot. Come on, level 5, get hot one time. No, you got control issues. And then when the elevator shows up, you're so delusional, you think you did that. No, how about that? How about that right there?
I love that. Good stuff. Derek Stroop there with the best video on the internet today. CJ, thank you for a great job behind the glass. Thanks to Paul Acey from FocusOnTheFamiliesPluggedIn.com for joining us. Joe Manning will be in for me next week. Enjoy your Thanksgiving week, and I'll be back December 1st on the Steve Marston Show. Until then,